7 years ago, I ran out of visa at a place that I considered home. So I kind of became a digital nomad, but by circumstance, traveling from one place to another this entire time. In the last 3 months alone, I visited 3 continents and 11 countries. One thing I've learned after traveling, well, my entire life to 70 plus countries is that traveling actually kind of sucks. And I don't mean going to dream places or visiting new cool people. I mean the act of traveling itself and all of the logistics surrounding it. So in this video, I'm sharing 8 practical tips on how to make travel suck a tiny bit less.
Booking flights. So I needed to book a flight going from Manila, Philippines to Prague. And as always, we're trying to book it last minute, so the prices were insane. And to make things even worse, the flights were just terrible. 50 hours, terrible layovers, very suboptimal. So here's what we did instead. We looked up the biggest travel hub airports and looked up tickets there. And then from there, we constructed our own multi-destination trip. So we first flew to Dubai, from Dubai to Istanbul, and from Istanbul all the way to Prague. Not only did we save 20% of the flight's cost, we also didn't have to wake up in the middle of the night, so our flight was at 10 a.m. and we stayed over in Istanbul for a nice night of sleep and a little bit of exploration so that we didn't have to spend all that time in the airport. But not so fast.
Here I'm in the Dubai airport and my bag is lost. I had a bunch of camera gear in there and we spent maybe 2.5 hours trying to figure out which flights to buy, how to create this connecting scheme with 3 different type of destinations to make sure that we optimize for sleep, for recovery, everything else. Then the first destination after 9 hours, my bag is gone.
Which brings me to the next point, AirTags. This is a tracking device that is manufactured by Apple. It costs about 35 bucks a pop. All you need to do is connect it to your phone and then the magic happens. Apple is going to use the network of iPhones and the proximity to send the signal about this thing's whereabouts. I have this guy in my suitcase, in my backpack, and even in my hard drive case. I try to tag all of my most valuable possessions.
The last location where it was seen is Manila, and that was how many hours ago? Maybe 7 hours ago. That was a 9-hour flight. So the odds are those fuckers did not put my bag on the flight.
It will give you the ease of mind, which in my book is one of the coolest things you can buy for money. So I knew which airport to call and I could track the location of my bag as it was moving from one country to another. Right now, it is in Prague. Next up, here's how to stay productive when traveling. For most people, traveling is the biggest time suck, and that's because they do not make a to-do list of the productive shit they can do on the way. Even before I take off to the airport, I make a list of the things I want to get done. I have my one thing, which is usually the most important item of the day.
Just figure out what you'd like to do on the plane. So I would preload a couple of articles I'd like to read, audiobooks. I'm a podcast guy, so preloading podcasts of the Clay works. That way, if you could stay productive, focused, and just do it maybe for enjoyment.
And it often requires deep work, which means that I need to have an hour and a half, 2 hours of uninterrupted time, such as recording this video. And then I make a list of the small things I can do on the go whenever I have 5, 10, 30 minutes here and there. And frankly, time on the airplane is sometimes one of the most productive times I have in the entire week. And that's because I don't have access to internet, so I have to think and stay undistracted. The worst thing about flying is not just the time and productivity that you lost when you were flying, but also the stuff that follows, meaning feeling jet lagged and tired a few days after.
Your body has this molecular clock which regulates sleep-wake cycle, your circadian rhythm. When you switch time zones, your body is not in sync with your environment, telling you to be tired during the day and energized at night. Kinda sucks unless you're a nightclub promoter. Here's what you can do to avoid jet lag by adjusting your circadian rhythm to the new time zone faster. Shift bedtime and wake time closer to your destination's time zone. Best by 1 to 2 hours per day.
And if you cannot fall asleep, you can use melatonin. It will help you reset your sleep cycle faster and pass out. Work out before and after your flight. So when traveling, you're sitting on the airplane for many hours, then in the taxi, waiting in different areas. If you work out beforehand, your body can use this time to recover. I also love stretching and doing squats during the flight itself. I walk around the cabin, sometimes even go to the bathroom to do my stretching, or you can do it by the emergency exit. It definitely helps you feel less exhausted after. Also make sure that you book your seats in advance. On my last flight, I was crammed in the middle seat between two fat people eating McDonald's. I kid you not. It costs just $10, man. 100% worth the investment to avoid a few miserable hours. Arrive to your gate early, but be the last one to board. And here are a few tips on how to get way better accommodation on the same budget. I go on Airbnb and make a wish list of the coolest properties out there. Then I select the top 3 to 5 and send them a templated message like this one. So I'm reaching out to the apartments that cost over $200 a night and asking them if I can stay there for just $100. So if you're traveling to locations that are out of seasons, then you'll probably find a lot of apartments that have availability. Technically, your host can make either $100 or nothing. So it's a decent deal for them as well. So for my Prague trip, I didn't get it for $100 a night, but I've gotten a 40% discount after all. Also, I just watched this YouTube video where this chick gets hotels at 40% off. She uses Hotwire's mystery hotel and then matches them to the actual hotel so that it's not mystery at all. Check out her video in the description. She shows how she saved $1,800 on one trip alone. And here's the hack I learned from my dad. You actually do not need to stay at those 5-star hotels, but you can just go there and use all of the amenities for free. Technically, you can just walk in and use the beach, the business center, the pool, you name it. And if the staff asks you any questions, you're just going to the restaurant. The next big question is, what do you bring with you? Let's take a look. Honestly, the number one thing that I love with my setup is the bag itself. And it costs $500 freaking dollars. When I was considering to buy it, I thought it's some sort of a lavish, stupid expense that I would probably regret down the line. So until I've gotten this bag and started traveling with it, I thought the odds are I probably just wasted a bunch of money and I was like one of those fancy girls with a Gucci bag. This bag alone not only helps me fit a lot of the things I need, but it also allows me to access them faster. And because of that convenience, my entire travel experience is far more enjoyable. Packing is easier, unpacking is easier, and this bag is designed to last. I use it literally every single day, so if it lasts for 2 years, it's going to be not all that expensive. It is called Nomadic and it is a collaboration with the famous photographer Peter McKinnon. So it allows me to carry this tripod and the camera. Okay, so what is in my bag? A professional film light, super heavy, an audio capturing device. Then I have 2 laptops. All right, on the serious note though, the only reason I have all of this useless stuff in my carry-on is because it weighs a lot. Otherwise, I'll be way lighter. My checked-in bag, which is currently lost, was way overweight, so I had to pick up some of the stuff. But here's the stuff I actually cannot live without when traveling. I have this Kindle for reading and staying productive. Then there is my sleeping mask, which is something I cannot live without. And what complements the mask is those Vax earplugs. They are amazing and by far the best type of earplugs you can get. A portable charger, which is pretty obvious, and something that saves me from all of those kids constantly crying on the airplanes and stupid announcements and the flight attendants telling me how to actually escape the plane if something goes wrong. I can block this off with this awesome noise canceling headphones. Ah, so good.
After all, I ended up making it to the crazy Wim Hof expedition in Poland. It was freezing cold, and I have another crazy story to tell my grandkids. Travel is really smooth. There are always obstacles on the way, but hopefully with these tips from the video, you can make it suck a tiny bit less. Make sure to subscribe to this channel because up next, we're going up Mount Everest and exploring the topic of life vision and goal setting. So click that button and hopefully see you there.